Et, which I forgot to do for the 102s. Very sad. But if they go to YouTube, they can still watch the good one. Voilà. Très bien. Alors, comme d'habitude, if you get in class, yell. If I don't see you, I should be able to see you over there. And I had the vText open, there it is. Et je vais faire pousser ça un tout petit peu. Oh, j'ai oublié de faire télécharger le... So bear with me, I still need to download the PowerPoint. I had just accessed it from my lesson plan and then never got around to... Voilà. Je sais pas pourquoi ça ne se fait pas accéder par l'autre écran là. For some reason I always have to go into Finder to get it to click open. I can't just do it from that little stretch out. Mais voilà. C'est bon, c'est bon, c'est bon. Ok. Aujourd'hui, on va continuer un peu avec les réfléchis. When we talked about reflexives last week, we were talking about the... Was that last week? It seems like it was longer ago. Wow. Oh, we did prepositions with infinitive. That's right, we did reflexives a little bit ago. This is another group of reflexives. It's a little strange. When we were doing the idiomatic expression reflexives, I said that some of them weren't necessarily idiomatic. And that's kind of the case here. That is, these are all going to be reflexives that you can use reciprocally. But I've never understood why this book breaks that out. Because really, just any time you use a reflexive reciprocally, you're making it into a reciprocal reflexive. So, at any rate, it gives us a chance to look at reflexives again and practice some more with them, and that's never a bad thing. So, I just was reminding the 102s about all that placement stuff for, hey, oh my gosh, did I do a different one? Oh, there it is, okay. Wow, I was fixing to be upset for a second, just a little. I was reminding the 102s about all of these rules for placement that are still going to work for reflexives, right? So where it says direct and indirect here, remember that that's going to be for reflexives also. And I got a little lost in my outline here, but it's basically the same stuff that we went over a few weeks ago. Look for an affirmative command. If it's an affirmative command, then your reflexive is going to go right after the verb with a hyphen. So to see an example for reflexives, I might say, right? If it's not an affirmative command, then look for an infinitive. If there's an infinitive, the pronoun goes directly in front of the infinitive. If there's no infinitive, then directly in front of the conjugated verb, no matter what tense ever. So same deal that we have done before. You would see reflexives here instead. And I'm not going to spend any more time on that. But you have this breakdown here again if you need it. Alors, c'est très bien. J'ai perdu mon... Voilà. no PowerPoint. So there's not going to be anything new with these. There's going to be one little tiny thing. That's a little tiny exception that we're going to pull into here. But by and large, there's not going to be anything new. No new placement or anything like that. The main difference is just that you're using these reflexive verbs to indicate each other rather than just one's self. D'accord? So calling each other, looking at each other, whatever, kicking each other, je sais pas. C'est pour les enfants, par exemple, n'est-ce pas? Nous, on fait pas ça quand même. Mais voilà, très bien. On y go. So, we learned that reflexive verbs reflect back on the subject of the sentence, and the subject of the sentence is doing things to itself, right? Now I've got two or more people doing things to each other, and this all sounds really risque, but anyway, we'll try to overlook that. Il se regarde dans le miroir, he's looking at himself in the mirror, or Alain et Diane se regardent, they're looking at each other. D'accord? So this one's reflexive back onto the subject, this one's reflexive reciprocally between these two people. D'accord? There's a bunch of examples, but honestly, I think I said that there are just a gazillion verbs you can use reflexively that may not be found in any reflexive verb list. I'm having my yawning fits a lot tonight. By the same token, these reciprocals, if it's logical and you can make a reciprocal situation out of any verb you think of, you're probably fine doing it. So these as well, there are probably a gazillion that we can use reciprocally. It's not just this list. This list is some of the most common, and they've included certain types so that they can show you how that kind of stuff works. Another yawning fit. Alors, some of these we've seen before. S'entendre bien, par exemple. We saw that with our idiomatics. S'aimer bien, par exemple. Vous avez déjà vu aimer bien quelqu'un. Se dire, se donner, s'écrire, s'embrasser, etc. Ouais. Alors, any of these that are posing a problem that you don't think you saw anywhere else before seeing it here for reflexives, then do go look them up if you need to. Make some original sentences out of them if you can. That'll be the best way for you to retain the new material. And some more examples. Annick et Joël s'écrivent tous les jours. Vous vous donnez souvent rendez-vous le lundi? Nous nous retrouvons devant le métro à midi. Vous embrassez-vous devant vos parents? The past participle of a reciprocal verb only agrees with the subject when the subject is also the direct object of the verb. Alors, we'll let that sink in. The past participle only agrees when the subject is also the direct object. That means that if you're using a reciprocal reflexive where an indirect object would be involved, you would not be able to make agreement. D'accord? So, okay. If subject D'accord? And we'll put in passé composé, because that's the only place you're going to have to worry about this. Okay? No agreement in passé composé if with reflexive if the subject is also the indirect object of the verb. Now what they mean by that is, we'll look at a couple of our own examples. Attendez. Voilà. So they've got some good examples here. I'll show you a couple of different ones as well. Alors, Pierre, par exemple, Pierre et Marie se sont vus brièvement. Je ne sais pas pourquoi brièvement, mais ça m'est venu à l'esprit, n'est-ce pas? Je pars devant le Louvre. Attends. Je ne sais pas pourquoi c'est si long non plus. Mais voilà. C'est plus intéressant. Je suis tâchée de faire que mes exemples soient plus intéressants dorénavant. Alors, Pierre et Marie se sont vus brièvement devant le Louvre ce matin. When you think of voir, voir doesn't take an indirect object, right? Pierre voit Marie, Marie voit Pierre, n'est-ce pas? Pierre a vu Marie, Marie a vu Pierre. So we definitely have a direct object situation here. They're reflexive, but they're also direct objects of the verb. Okay? Now, if we had one where a direct object would be involved, ce serait par exemple comme, and this is one of our prime examples for these, or one of the most often referenced examples of these. Pierre et Marie se sont téléphonés hier matin. Now, part of what's going to be hard about this new thing with the reciprocals, and this is not to say that all reciprocals do this, but only when you have an indirect object, when the reflexives are indirect objects as well. D'accord? So how do you know if it's an indirect object or not? You have to know your verbs well enough to know whether that verb takes an indirect object or direct object. The fastest way to do that, for me, and probably for most French speakers, if they run across one that they're not, that some verb they haven't used in a long time or something, which happens, would just be to say it to myself and say je téléphone, and see if it sounds right. Say je téléphone à Marie ou je téléphone Marie, d'accord? Et ce qui fait que en fait téléphoner ça a besoin de a, d'accord? Alors normalement Pierre téléphone à Marie, Marie téléphone à Pierre, etc. D'accord? So, since it needs an indirect, we know these guys are not only the subject of the sentence, but each other's indirect object. D'accord? And I'm not going to make agreement. Why not? Because we've never made agreement with indirect objects. When you learned your agreement for passé composé with direct objects, that is, with other object pronouns, it was always with the direct object, right? It was never with indirect objects. So this is basically a continuation of that same rule, okay? I will tell you that the vast majority of these are communication verbs because we use a with lots and lots and lots of communication verbs. So, parler, même chose. D'accord? Marquez-moi, nous nous sommes parlé ce matin. Parler, because I need a with parler. So, Marc et moi, we are each other's indirect object as well as the subjects of the sentence. D'accord? And again, you would stop and look at that verb, parler, and think about how we use it. Parler is used almost exactly the way its counterpart in English is used. I speak to someone, right? I can't just speak someone. Ouais? Alors je parle à Marc, je parle à Pierre, il parle à Louise, etc. Okay? Since it's taking a, it means it's an indirect object, and that means it's not going to take agreement. Okay? And again, it's hugely often going to come up with communication verbs. Not all communication verbs, but almost all communication verbs. And it will come up in some other cases too. The rule that we used to tell everybody was communication verbs and body parts. Because a lot of the time when you have a body part in your sentence, that also will dictate that you do not do agreement. I kind of like it now if students will kind of focus on the fact that they've already learned this. You already know that you're not going to make agreement with indirect objects. This also helps you kind of look at how these are working a little more closely. But it is kind of a help to think, okay, this is going to come up a lot with communication verbs, so my antennae are definitely going to go up when I see that. And the rest of the time I'm going to try to make them go up as often as I can as well. But it'll be easier as you get the hang of it. D'accord? Alors, vous avez des exemples ici. Se sont aidés, direct object, right? A aider son frère, direct object. A parler à Sophie, same example we used, right? Parler, se sont parlés, sans rien. D'accord? Il ne veut pas m'écouter. Voilà. Ah, c'est la fin. La fin, je dis. Bon, c'est bon. Alors, ce qu'on allait faire, c'était de pratiquer un tout petit peu avec le livre. Et ça, je vais fermer ça. Et je vais accéder au V-Text. Et j'ai pas refait la page, alors 454. Oh. Okay. So, we have our essay. I don't think we need to just do these present tense ones actually. I wasn't looking very closely at that activity when I first put it on my lesson plan. So let's go ahead and see what else is coming up. I know there's a couple over here I wanted to use. Je vais faire pousser ça. Je vais trier ça. Oh, voilà. Alors, ici c'est juste pour le réciproque, n'est-ce pas? C'est bon. So this one kind of shows you how these, it's really kind of hitting you over the head with the fact that these are reciprocal. Because you're seeing that it's happening to each person from the other person, and then we put them together with our reciprocal reflexive. So Laure connaît bien Habib, Habib connaît bien Laure, making it into a plural sentence to say that they know each other well. Laure et Habib se connaissent bien. D'accord? That's all there is to it. So it is kind of cool because you see that, yes, there's reciprocity happening here, and it's really being spelled out for you, and now I'm combining it, making my speech a little more streamlined, etc., which is basically almost everything we do is to do that, right? Especially when in 201. And as you get higher up, that'll be your main goal, pretty much always, will be just making your language more sophisticated, more streamlined, more interesting, more varied, etc. Elle le regarde amoureusement. Il la regarde amoureusement. Alors, il se regarde amoureusement. D'accord? Oh, qu'est-ce que j'ai fait, Suzanne? T'as pas bien écrit. Voilà. Amoureusement. Laure écrit des emails à Habib. Habib écrit des emails à Laure. D'accord? Alors, Laure et Habib s'écrivent. Pause it if you're looking at the video later to really give yourself a chance. Des emails. Anybody remember what I was saying last week about the about emails? They don't really call them emails anymore. Des mails, n'est-ce pas, des mails. Elle lui téléphone tous les soirs. Il lui téléphone tous les soirs. Alors, il se téléphone tous les soirs. D'accord? Elle lui dit tous ses secrets. Il lui dit tous ses secrets. Il se disent tous ses secrets. D'accord? C'est très bien. I haven't checked on our class recently to see if anybody's here. Nobody's here. Okay. Laure aime beaucoup Habib. Habib aime beaucoup Laure. Alors, ils s'aiment beaucoup. Il n'y a rien de plus simple. D'accord? Vous comprenez? Alors, vous avez les bien réciproques, les situations bien réciproques. Et puis, vous les mettez ensemble avec le réfléchi. D'accord? Voilà. Oui, on va quitter. Bon. Alors, l'autre. Now, we talked a little bit about object pronouns, and I can do that. I think it was when we were talking about the order and placement for object pronouns, and I said, that those rules will apply forever, and regardless of what tense you're in, etc. So here's some good examples of this. We're doing these all in imparfait, n'est-ce pas? And that's good. Dust that off a little bit, n'est-ce pas? And you can see that these placement rules are going to work still exactly the same as they did. And your imparfait doesn't change at all either. And c'est assez simple, d'accord? Alors, marquez-moi, cédez souvent. Vous allez réécrire la phrase pour que ça soit tout à l'accord. Alors, Marie et moi, nous nous aidions souvent. Marc et toi se regarder en cours. Alors, Marc et toi, vous regardiez en cours. Ah, je vais faire que ça soit plus grand. Attendez. Voilà. Numéro 2. Anne et Mouna D'accord? Pause it if you need to as you go through to give yourself a chance to think of the answer before we do it. François et moi. Nous écrivions 2 fois par semaine. D'accord? Voilà. Paul et toi. Vous entendiez bien. Très bien. Luc et Sylvie. S'adorait. D'accord? Patrick et moi. Nous retrouvions après les cours. D'accord? Alisha et Malik ne se connaissaient pas bien. D'accord? Now I've split my negative apart. Don't let that negative together throw you. If I'm showing that an infinitive is negative, I'm putting the ne pas in front of the infinitive, the entire ne pas. D'accord? We always split it up around a conjugated verb, but if we're showing that an infinitive is going to be negative, you put ne pas in front. And there are times when you may actually see this in a sentence once in a while. It's a little bit artificial, it's a little bit stilted, kind of like when we say something like, like, I don't know, you're not going to the library, are you? Well, I'm not going to the library, but I might not go to the library, you know? So we say that kind of stuff once in a while when we get a little stumbly in a conversation trying to really respond to kind of a different question or something like that. So you may very well see ne pas in that kind of a thing. So je vais pas, je vais, je sais pas. I can't even do it now that I'm thinking about it too hard. But you will have that come up once in a while. But you're only going to keep ne pas together if it's in front of an infinitive. You're showing that infinitive to be negative. D'accord? And notice that my se is still right next to my infinitive. So se still takes precedence. D'accord? Agnès et moi. Et c'est le dernier en plus. Ah non, c'est pas le dernier. Alors, Agnès et moi, nous allions à la cantine. D'accord? Félix et toi? Vous donniez parfois des cadeaux. Très bien. D'accord? Ça vous donne encore une petite idée. Alors c'est bien. Et en fait, nous allons regarder sur texte ou bien... Attendez. Oh, I forgot to pull up the activity I wanted to pull up. Oh, I never can remember how I get this thing to drag. Let's go ahead and do this one, because it gets us into those reciprocals with or without agreement, so you have to think about that a little tiny bit. And then we'll look at the others, d'accord? Alors, ils se sont rencontrés. I'm going to go ahead and use agreement, right? Because when I use this verb on its own, il rencontre monsieur machin, I don't use a preposition, right? So again, if you need to, j'avais un autre ouvert pour vous là. C'était celui-là. C'est celui-là. Okay, that's the same one I was on, isn't it? Cool. Okay, so looking at this example, here's what I was talking about a little bit before. If I'm not sure what to do, I'm going to make a singular sentence, just using the verb without reflexive, and Monsieur Baudry. Okay. And I don't need an infinitive. I don't need a preposition. Now, if it sounds right both ways, you need to go look up the verb. And little by little, you will remember these verbs. But usually, especially at you guys' level, as you get higher and higher, and you know more and more verbs. Sorry. Normally, these will kind of make a little sound in your head when you're going through it that'll remind you, oh, no, I know there's no infinitive. I know there's no preposition, or yes, it definitely needs a preposition. And again, if you're not sure, go look it up. And if it's a verb that you know you've seen lots of times, then chances are you need to remember that that one doesn't or does need a preposition. And you should probably make a couple of original sentences out of it, etc., so that you remember better about whether it needs a preposition or not. You can also just go and practice on text or wherever, look for some preposition exercises somewhere. And you're not sure where to find some, then yell, and I can probably find some and send you the links. And all of that will help you kind of slowly cement these in your mind so that you don't have to look them up all the time, and they will start kind of speaking to you when you look at them, or when you say them to yourself, so that you remember whether they need a preposition or not. I'm going to make this just a little smaller so that we can see, maybe again. Oh, there we go. Okay. Arnaud et moi. So same deal. I'm going to make a sentence out of this first. Qu'est-ce qu'ils font, eux? Alors, si vous avez dit s'embrasser, c'est pas exactement la même chose. Alors, c'est plutôt se faire la bise, n'est-ce pas? Je vais pousser ça. Voilà. Alors, se faire la bise. D'accord? So that's that little kiss, double kiss, usually triple sometimes, quadruple sometimes, depending on the region, that French people do when they meet each other quite often. Alors, se faire la bise. This is reciprocal already. It's already set up as a reciprocal. But if I'm talking about it to a specific person, je fais la bise à, pardon, à Mike, par exemple. D'accord? So I do need à here, which means these are going to be indirect objects of each other as well as the subject of the sentence, right? Alors, Arnaud et moi, nous, ça c'est composé avec les réfléchis, ça veut dire être ou ça fait être ou avoir. Être. Alors, être pour nous. Oh, my, hey. Oh, I pushed the wrong, I'm doing that thing again where I'm accidentally hitting like some kind of old macro combo from years ago. It's very weird. Voilà. Vous êtes. Nous. Qu'est-ce que je fais? Nous sommes. Well, my head is turned around. I don't know why. Nous sommes. Okay. La bise. D'accord? Now, if we needed agreement with this, you could go ahead and put s on the end of fait, but I don't, right? Because we just ascertained that this is an indirect object neither. So, je fais la bise à Mike, ou Arnaud fait la bise à moi, ou je fais la bise à Arnaud, alors nous nous sommes fait la bise. D'accord? Sans rien. Ok? Le prochain, alors, je sais pas. Il y a plus qu'une possibilité des fois. Hein? Sometimes there's more than one possibility. Let me see what they want us to use for this one. Okay, that's what I thought. So they're leaving each other. If you have something that'll work equally well, that's wonderful. You could go ahead and use it, and then stop and ask yourself if it needs a preposition or not, and figure out whether it's going to take agreement or not. D'accord? Alors, se quitter. When I just use quitter in a sentence without the reflexive, par exemple, je quitte Mike, ou elle quitte Paris. I can use it with places too. I can use it all kinds of ways. It doesn't need anything. So, je quitte Mike, elle quitte Paris, etc. D'accord? Alors, vous. So what does that mean? Is it direct or indirect? The fact that I don't need a preposition means that it takes direct objects. D'accord? So since these are going to be direct objects of each other as well as subjects of the sentence, I'm going to go ahead and make agreement. Alors vous. Oh, that's probably why I had et in my head, because of this one. I was thinking of the example still. Vous êtes. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Vous êtes quitté. Did I? For a second, I thought I had 3 T's. Vous êtes quitté. D'accord? Agreement because it's direct object. It's not indirect. So remember, no agreement in passé composé with reflexives if the subject is also the indirect object. D'accord? Alors, elle. Qu'est-ce que vous allez dire comme verbe? Alors, le plus logique, c'est se téléphoner. So I used this one for one of my examples, right? Now, if this one's confusing to you, it's probably because you're thinking of s'appeler also. D'accord? S'appeler doesn't need a preposition. D'accord? J'appelle Paul. J'appelle Pierre. D'accord? Tandis que se téléphoner, je dire téléphoner tout court, je téléphone à Miguel. Je téléphone à Suzanne. D'accord? So, if I'm using téléphoner here, Être pour passé composé, ou je veux dire être pour elle. Participe passé. Elles se sont téléphonées. Point. D'accord? Voilà. Numéro 4. Nous. Alors celui-là, ça va être probablement écrire des lettres, s'écrire des lettres, d'accord? D'accord? Alors j'écris une lettre, it works exactly the same way as in English. Par exemple, you need anything here? J'écris une lettre à ma mère. D'accord? So same thing here. I'm going to need a for this idea. I'm not going to put a in there because I don't need it structurally in the sentence. But since we've just ascertained that these people are going to actually be indirect objects, then do I need agreement or not? Non. D'accord? Nous nous sommes écrits des lettres. Très bien. Voilà. Alors, comme j'ai dit, je voulais qu'on regarde quand même un exemple, un exercice au point du flé. Let's see if I can find it quickly, and if not, then we will go right to our video. Voilà. I hope I just remember it off the top of my head. I can never get there. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's actually coming up with more stuff. Il ne nous donne pas les réfléchis, quand même. Bon. Bon. Les relatifs et non pas les réfléchis. There's some wacky way that you have to go find them on this, and I can't remember. I'm drawing a total blank today. I think that's why I got stuck before when I was doing my lesson plan, and then I just started working on other stuff, so we will just go to text, although I'm not sure if they have anything that's specifically for the agreement. However, we still can practice them. So, pronom. Reflexives, pronominals. I really wish I had saved the link to that other activity. Je m'excuse, hein. Merci de vous patienter. Some of these are dead. Some of them are not. Ça, c'est trop de travail. There's text just with reflexives in general. And they do have a pretty good description of the reflexives, and There shouldn't be too many on here that are new for you. So it's still a good idea to go on here and just kind of remind yourselves of some of the verbs and look at them in a little bit different context. They're not going to do the reciprocals for us. Oh. Voilà. Hold on. You get the idea. What I wanted to do then is a song by Joshua Nathan. I have to remind myself the name of it. It has some reflexives in it, and it's a pretty cool song. Alors attendez. Oh, tant pis. Tant pis, tant pis. C'est ça le titre du son. Du son. De la chanson. Je parle en franglais là. Oh là là. Alors, Joyce Jonathan. Très bien. Alors, Joyce Jonathan, I think I'm probably remembering last semester, there's another song of hers that I use pretty frequently in 102 or 201, I'm not sure, I can't remember which. And she's a singer-songwriter, kind of an indie singer-songwriter in France. She writes most of her own stuff. I think there was maybe one cover I heard her do, but for the most part she does her own songs. And she's generally pretty good. I have not listened to this song very much, but on va voir. Alors, Joyce Jonathan. And I did find the lyrics, so I'll try to remember to link those. I did click the right thing. I know I did. So, okay, let's try it again. Oh là là, Suzanne. Voilà. Tant pis. Ah oui, ça c'était que les paroles. Alors, oh, avec paroles. C'est sa vidéo à elle avec les paroles parce que ce serait bien. Oh wait, I remember this one. This one is a little older. I remember this one. My computer's getting tired. Too many things open.
Assise à la fenêtre, je regarde la scène. Je te revois passer et me rappelle
Oh.
ce tableau lointain qui vient et m'emmène. Se pose par ici, me prend sous ses ailes. Le début d'un long voyage qui me mène à toi. Et je te regarde des heures, mais tu n'es pas là. J'ai beau faire le tour du monde, mais tout me ramène.
En fait, I'll link the parole one for you, but I wanted you to actually see the video. So let's go back to the video, and I'm also going to get rid of my little guy here. Voilà, très bien. Alors, tant pis, sans parole. Oh.
Assise à la fenêtre. la scène.
Oh là là, non mais on veut la
Je te
vidéo
revois passer
originale,
et
non?
me rappelle toute la scène. Je te revois passer et me rappelle.
Clip officiel. Voilà, très bien. Ouf, c'est du travail, hein, c'est du boulot là.
Assise à la fenêtre, je regarde la scène. Je te revois passer et me rappelle.
Je m'excuse, hein.
Ce tableau lointain qui vient et m'emmène se pose par ici, me prend sous ses ailes. Le début d'un long voyage
Oh là
qui
là.
me mène à toi. Et je te regarde des heures, mais tu n'es pas là. Je peux faire le tour du monde, mais tout me ramène à toi. Et partout à la fois, il y a d'autres histoires d'amour et qui n'attendent que moi. Mais tant pis, c'est avec toi que je me sens. C'est avec toi que je me sens. Moi, j'ai écrit ton nom sur tous les papiers. Et je m'en rendais plus compte, j'étais possédée. Le début d'un long voyage qui me mène à toi. Et je te regarde des heures, mais tu n'es pas là. Je peux faire le tour du monde, mais tout me ramène à toi. Et partout à la fois, il y a d'autres histoires d'amour qui n'attendent que moi. Mais tant pis, c'est avec toi que je me sens. C'est avec toi que je me sens. Moi, l'eau a coulé sous les ponts depuis ton départ. Je me noie dans ce tableau et je m'égare. Je suis là, je tourne en rond, perdu la raison. Les sens me quittent, ça y est, je tourne.